Well, hello, and welcome back to Cert Junkie 42. On today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about NMAP scanning. We're going to take a look at the top five or the top five most used NMAP commands and give you an explanation, get an idea of what those all look like. We're going to start out, we're logged into Kali Linux. I've got a terminal up for you, a terminal screen up here for you. And we're going to talk about TCP Connect scans, Xmas scans, ACK scans, idle scans, and then we're going to talk a little bit about a ping sweep. We're going to get that information out of the way for you. And so we're going to start out with a TCP Connect scan. That's the scan we're going to start out with. Now, you'll notice that I've got, again, a terminal up, and I've also got Wireshark enabled. And I'm going to go ahead and start capturing packets on my Ethernet interface. Come back over to my terminal, make that full screen. And let's see here, let's do an NMAP against my Windows Server 2012 target. So we'll do a dash lowercase s, uppercase T for a full connect scan. And we'll do it against my target 10.10.10.12. And we'll see how that turns out. Now this shouldn't take too long. And you'll note that I'm already capturing packets in the background. Okay. And in just a minute, we'll go back to Wireshark and we'll go ahead and take a look at what type of information we're capturing. Okay. Give us just a minute. There it is. There it is pretty quickly. We got that information back. So let's go ahead and go over to Wireshark and see what a TCP Full Connect scan looks like. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll filter the output for the IP address, make it equal to 10.10.10.12. Okay. And I'll hit enter, and it shows me only that information. Now, you'll note that with the TCP Full Connect scan, it's going to scan the top 1,000 ports. By 1,000 ports, we're identifying with TCP not port 1 through 1,000, but we're going to use what NMAP has discovered to be the top 1,000 ports that are open on the internet. Okay, and you'll also notice if you take a real close look that the port number, okay, is going to be pretty much randomized here. You got 3389 out here, 554, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're sending out synchronization messages. That's what we're doing, send out synchronization messages. Now, what I want to find here, yep, I found one right about, where is it? I got to find it. Here it is. We've got to our message, our synchronization message, a SYNAC. Yep, we got a SYNAC back. Okay, and you'll note that the SYNAC came from port 53, which indicates that interface or that port is open. Yep, source port is 53, come back for the SYNAC from the server. Okay, and then the very next packet that comes from my system right there, going back to port 53, is a reset acknowledgement. Yeah, we got a reset acknowledgement going back. So we've got oops, I'm sorry, no, I missed it. There it is. I got an acknowledgement and then a reset acknowledgement from my server. So we complete the connection, we then reset the connection, basically saying we don't need that connection anymore. Now this type of traffic should look like normal traffic. Now let me be specific about what we're talking about here. The SYNAC, ACK, that's normal traffic. Okay. A reset acknowledgement, that is also not out of the ordinary to get a reset acknowledgement on the network. Now, scanning 1,000 ports as quickly as we did, yeah, that's probably going to make a little bit of noise on the network. So we want to probably be a little slower about that. But in the interest of making sure that this video doesn't last forever, yeah, we went ahead and did it with a normal scan for our system. Okay, so that's the lowercase s, uppercase T. It sends out a synchronization message to the top 1,000 ports. When it gets a SYNAC back from the system indicating that the port is open, it will then respond with an acknowledgement saying, yep, thank you very much, the connection is now established, and then immediately follow that up with a reset acknowledgement saying, never mind, we don't need that connection anyway. Okay, so I'll go ahead and clear out my history or my screen here. I want to go back and I want to start capturing some more stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the capture on Wireshark and restart it so I got, clean stuff to look at. And we'll come back to my uh, terminal screen. And the next scan that I want to do for you is a Christmas scan. And so the Christmas scan, pretty simple. Rather than a lowercase s uppercase t, we're going to do a lowercase s uppercase x. And we'll go ahead and send that out. And basically what we're doing here is we're checking to see whether or not there's a firewall enabled on the receiving system. I want to know whether or not that firewall is up. And I'm checking a server 2012 system. Your experiences may vary if you're using a different operating system or a different firewall. But yeah, we're checking the server 2012 system. And you'll note that it says that all 1,000 ports are closed on that system. 1,000 ports. Again, we're sending out a Christmas scan. Now, your question to me, of course, is going to be, George, what in the world is a Christmas scan? What does that look like? So I'm going to bring up my Wireshark again, and we'll take a look, and you'll notice, pretty simple, the information we're sending out is a TCP packet with the fin, the push, and the urge flags all turned on. Basically, we've lit that packet up like a Christmas tree. Okay, that's our intention there. And again, we're checking to see if the firewall is enabled on the system. Okay, so that's the information we're sending out. Now, let's go to the Windows 2012 server. Okay, and I got to log back in. Hold on one second. Yeah, there we go. Let me get my password in there. Yep, it timed out. Oh, it timed out on me. Let me try that again. Almost told you what my password was, and then you'd be able to break into my system, right? Okay. So here's here's my my Windows firewall, and you'll notice that it is currently off. It's turned off. So let's go ahead and activate it now. Let's go ahead and turn it on. So I'll hit the firewall section, and we'll hit on. And we'll click apply, and we'll click OK. Okay. Again, that's the Windows firewall properties that we hit, and you notice now that the firewall is turned on. All right, so let's go back to my Kali Linux system. Okay, go back to my terminal screen. Okay, and what I want to do is run that scan again. I'm going to run that same Christmas scan against that system. Okay, and this doesn't take but what 15 seconds to actually respond to us, so that should not keep you waiting for too long. I could probably pause the recording and come back to it. You know what? I'm too lazy to hit the F9 key to make that, or I'm sorry, I guess that's the F10 key to actually pause it. It should be back here any second now, and now it's going to annoy me, and I may have to edit this video for timing, but hopefully it's going to come back here pretty quick. There it is. Yep. Oh, took 30 seconds this time. Wow, it was a little bit longer. And you'll note that my message is different. When the firewall was off, it identified the ports were closed. Okay. When the firewall was turned on, it identifies that the ports are open and filtered. Okay, so that tells me whether or not the host-based firewall on my Windows Server 2012 system is enabled or disabled. Okay, open filtered says it's disabled. Okay, so that's the Christmas scan. That's one of the benefits of using the Christmas scan. It lets you know whether or not they have enabled the host-based firewall on this system. Okay, now the XScan pretty much does the same thing. Okay, and let's go ahead and get the XScan going. But before we do that, again, let's go back to my Wireshark. We'll stop the capture. We'll go ahead and start it up again, and we'll continue without saving. So we have a brand new capture showing up here. Okay, and we're going to do it the NMAP dash lowercase s uppercase a against that same server. So we'll go ahead and hit the enter there, and we'll wait and see how long. Hopefully this doesn't, I hope it doesn't take another 30 seconds for it to come back, but I'm sure you don't mind listening to me just kind of yammer on and on while this completes for me. Yep. I don't know if you guys have read the news report. There was a study that was done just recently, and it was a study that indicated that the study said that 6 out of 7 dwarves were not happy. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Yep. So, yep. Oh, there it is. There we go. Here it is. We've got the response to the firewall that is active on the Windows Server 2012 system. Okay, that says that, yep, they were filtered. Yeah, the firewall was enabled, and it comes back with the ACK scan and says it was filtered. Now let's go back to that server. Okay, there's my 2012 server. Let me go back to the firewall properties, and let me go ahead and turn that off. There, now it's turned off. And we'll hit apply, and we'll click OK, and they'll go back to the Kali Linux system. And the next thing that we're going to do, obviously, is we're going to do the ACK scan again. And while it's taking its pretty old time doing what it's doing, we'll go ahead and go back, take a look at what happens in Wireshark. What is Wireshark telling me? Well, you'll notice that we're doing the same type of scan, okay, against the top 1,000 ports. And the only flag that's turned on here is the acknowledgement. Again, I can come down here to the TCP protocol. I'll take a look at my flags, and you notice that the ACK bit, the acknowledgement bit, is turned on those packets. Okay, so that gives me information there, okay, about what's going on with that packet during an ACK scan. We'll come back here. Is it finished? It is. Look at there. And you'll notice that it shows with the firewall off that those ports are unfiltered. So I know whether or not the firewall is turned on. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, what else do I got for you? My next tool, my next method is we're going to do a what we call an idle scan. Okay. Now with an idle scan, this is a type of scan that we can use to identify whether or not a port is open, but we're going to have somebody else check for me, what we call a zombie. Basically a system that we're going to use to check for us. Okay, we're going to send the scan or make the scan look like it comes from our zombie, basically our system that is idle. The best case scenario is if you can do the idle scan, you want to do the idle scan with a system, employ the use of a system that is idle. Yeah, it's not doing anything, it's very quiet. Okay, it's not sending a lot of packets. The reason for that is we're going to take a look at a section in the layer 3 header identified as the IP identifier, which is used for a couple different reasons. One thing is that we use it for is to be able to reassemble fragmented packets at layer 3. It's also used is incremented as each packet is sent out of the network interface. Okay, and so what we're going to do is take note of what that value is. We're going to do a query to the zombie, find out what the IP ID is. We'll then send a query that is spoofed to have come from the zombie. The source address will be that of the zombie, which means the system that we're sending the query to will respond back to the zombie, not back to our system. We'll then query the zombie again, take a look at that IP ID. If it has incremented twice, that means the port's open. If it's only incremented by one, then that means the port is closed. So again, we're going to be using another system to be able to do the scan. Now what we're going to do, and I've done this with a couple different systems, it doesn't work so good against my Windows Server 2016 server. It doesn't work too well with my Windows Server 2012 server. It doesn't work so good with my Ubuntu system. But I found, interestingly, that it reacts pretty consistently with my Windows 10 system. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Windows 10 system as my zombie. So we'll do the NMAP. Okay. The first thing that I want to do is I want to turn off the host detection. We're going to do a dash capital P lowercase n. We want to do the scan on port 80. Okay. Port 80 of the system. We want to do a lowercase s uppercase I. That's my idle scan identification. We're going to first identify the zombie system. The zombie system is 10.10.10.10. 10. Yeah, it is. That's my Windows 10 system. And then we're going to scan the Windows 2012 system. Yeah, 2012 system. 10.10.10.12. And we'll see whether or not port 80 is open on that system. And like I said, it's pretty reliable, or at least it's been in the tests And so hopefully this will not take too long, but it should come back and tell me whether or not port 80 is open on my 2012 server. And as I recall, yep, there it is. It's actually identifying that it's closed and filtered. Yeah, so the IP ID didn't change for that, or it only changed by one. Let's try that against my 2016 server. I'm pretty sure that I got port 80 open, and you'll notice there it is. It is open, but the scan looks like it came from not my Kali Linux system, but from my Windows 10 system. So again, this gives me the ability to make it look like my scan comes from somebody else. Okay. My last scan for you, and I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen here. It's not going to do real well, but I'm going to go ahead and do a clear of the screen there. And I want to go back over here and I want to turn off my my packet capture and then go ahead and clear that out so I have a brand new packet capture. The next one we identify has been identified as a ping sweep. And I want to make sure that you understand that this has been misidentified as a ping sweep. Okay, my expectation with the ping sweep is that we are going to be using the ICMP echo request to find out whether or not ports are open or systems are open on my network. And see if I get an echo reply, it means that the system's up and responding, and ICMP is enabled on that system. But we're going to do an NMAP dash uppercase P with a lowercase s uppercase P. There we go. Against my entire network, 10.10.10 and we're going to do the asterisk, the wildcard character for that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do the NMAP there. And we're capturing the packets in the background, so that's good. Wireshark will give me that information. And again, I was expecting that this is going to be an ICMP echo request. And I found that I was wrong. Now, what's interesting about the lowercase s uppercase P is it doesn't show up when you just type NMAP and you get the listing of all the options. You don't get that there. No, it doesn't show up there. But it does work. It obviously works here. And yeah, so that's good. So there's my scan, and it tells me that there are systems up. Okay, 10.10.10.8, 9, 10, 12, 11, and then 16 are all up. Now let me go ahead and take a look at Wireshark. It doesn't look like it captured anything. And you know the reason is because, yeah, I've got that filtered. Let's go ahead and turn my filter off. And we'll do this, and we'll hit enter. And you'll notice that the information I got, yeah, I've got a DHCP neighbor solicitation message. It looks like it came out here. But I've got other messages, and you'll notice they're all ARPs. Yeah, basically what I'm doing is an ARP scan to identify which systems are up there. Yeah, that all I've got is ARPs. I don't have any ICMP echo requests or echo replies. Let me verify. Let me scroll down here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any. Okay, and I can even go a little bit further and say, you know what? I just want ICMP traffic. That's what I want. Let's do that. Nothing out there. Okay, and so contrary then to some reports, this doesn't do a ping scan. Nope, it does an ARP scan to find out what systems are available out there. Okay, so that's been my demo. I did my demo for this week. It is the NMAP scan using the TCP Connect scan, the Xmas scan, the ACK scan, the idle scan, and of course we did a ping scan. Now I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like it, make sure you subscribe, and stuff like that. If you didn't like it, give me feedback. Or even if you did like it, give me feedback. Thanks for coming to Search Junkie 42, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.